Hey everybody, this is Tracy, and we are here to recap To Rome with Love, Season 1, Episode 4, which was titled Nakita Gets Her Groove Back. So the show opens up with Shay, and once again, she's in the kitchen cooking. And this time, she's making breakfast for her and Nakita. And they're basically talking about the little meeting that they had where the girls attacked her and said that she was too loud and she was obnoxious and she was mean to everybody. And so they were basically saying that they need to nip it in the bud, that it was some BS, and they're not going to let, the pettiness ruin their trip. So in her confessional, Mercedes says that Shay is hella annoying when she's in the kitchen cooking and that she wishes she would just cook the food and shut up, which I think is kind of rude considering y'all be in there eating the food that she's cooking. So I guess that's why Shay was in the kitchen this time, only cooking enough for her and Nakita. And if you gonna get up and cook every day, I'm gonna be your best friend, because that means I ain't gotta cook. And Shay looked like she be cooking some good food, so they really need to chill out. So the other ladies are upstairs talking, and so Ashley asked Gina, how did her date go with the guy? I think, was it Claudio? And so Gina seems to be quite excited. No, Oliverio, because I don't think, yeah. So Ashley asked Gina, how did her date go? And Gina says that, she was quite excited and, looking forward to it. Everything turned out good. So then Diann and Micah come in, and Ashley has called a house meeting, so they can talk about what's going on in the house. So we learned that Shay is still talking to Roberto, that she really likes him. And Ashley shares how Leo made rude comments to her. So she's telling them all about the date on the beach where he said that only criminals get tattoos and all of that stuff. So Gina says that it's obviously a culture barrier, and she needs that instead of Ashley getting mad and saying she doesn't want to date him anymore, that she needs to educate him and let him know that, well, in America, we don't do that. But Ashley still seems to be impressed with him, but she's having flashbacks to previous relationships and saying that she just doesn't want to come over to Rome and meet a guy, who's going to treat her the same way that the guys back in America have treated her. So she's kind of cautiously optimistic about Leo. And Gina suggests that they go on a shopping excursion since Italy is all about fashion couture. And she sends Micah and Cece ahead to make sure that the boutique that they're going to is ready to receive them. And so she tells them that, when you look good, you feel good, and you're ready to attract what the world has to offer. So she thinks that the ladies need to pamper themselves a little bit and get into a better mood and kind of leave all the house drama behind. Child, in the vehicle, the ladies are discussing their fashion challenges. So we know this is about to be a trip. So Nakita, of course, is speaking about being full-figured and needing to buy fabrics that stretch. Then all of a sudden, Mercedes takes over the conversation and starts talking about, how hard it is for her to find clothes. And I'm like, girl, the last thing Nakita needs to hear is some little skinny butt chick talking about her, 34 triple D's and her small waist and how there's a gap in the waistband. She can't find a waistband small enough for her waist and all this other nonsense. So now Nakita is feeling more insecure than she already was feeling. So at the boutique, the ladies seem to be enjoying themselves, and well, everyone but Nakita. So then Gina is talking about how when she was doing her cooking show on the Food Network, she was molded every day, and she felt like the Black Mary Tyler Moore, because she didn't really get a say-so in what she wore or how she looked, and it was just a pain in the behind. So now having Diann choosing clothes for her is not the business. I'm like, seriously, Gina, obviously she sees an issue with what you're wearing and just wants you to step up your game. Just enjoy it, have fun. So Diann says in her confessional that she has been in the business for 20 plus years, and Gina is being a real challenge, and she simply can't get a read on what, will make Gina happy. So Diann ends up taking Shay and Nakita to another shop to get them away from the other ladies because she feels that the other women aren't being encouraging enough. And so Shay was in her confessional, she's talking about how positive and inspiring that Nakita used to be, when they knew each other back in the day. And she wants to help her get back, to that happy place because I guess since her divorce, she's been in a bad space, and she just wants to see her being that fun, loving, inspiring person that she used to be. So after trying on a few dresses, Nakita picks a long black sheer dress that the ladies think is perfect for her. I'm not sure that I agree with that, but anyway, it was a pretty dress. I'm just thinking it might have been something better in the store for her. So Diann wants to take Nakita to an environment where she feels that she'll be a little more comfortable around men that would be more accepting, I guess, of a full-figured woman. So Mercedes asks Nakita about the date that she is about to go on. And so she explains that Diann plans to get her into, a comfortable space. And she seems excited about the prospects for the night. So I'm excited for her that she's excited. So Diann meets with her team and she comes in slaying in this red cape dress. Now, that's one thing I say about Diann. She be dressed to the nines on every episode. So she's perplexed as to what to do with Mercedes because she's so flaky and don't know what she wants. And she says that for Gina, she wants to find her someone new because Olivero travels all the time. And so she doesn't want her like stuck in the house waiting on him to come back and missing out on all the opportunities out there. So I really wish that the women would stop placing the exaggerated emphasis on pronouncing these men's names or even when they're pronouncing any new word because they look so silly. Roberto, Oliverio, it's just like they doing all this when they talking, and I'm just like, if you pronounce their name and it's wrong, I'm sure they're gonna just say, you pronounced it wrong. But they just like they in speech class. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, at the restaurant, Nakita's introduced to someone, and Nakita's really feeling herself, and she's feeling real comfortable and. I'm like, go girl. If the black dress did that for you, more power to you. So she says that she is a boss chick looking for a man who doesn't need permission to tell her that she is beautiful when she isn't feeling good about herself. I'm like, okay. So the guy that they hooked her up with, well, I shouldn't say the man because he was a boy. So he asked Nakita how old she was, like 10 seconds into meeting her, which I thought was kind of rude. So she says that she's 37, and then he says that he's 20 years old. So I guess that explains, the insensitivity of the question. So Micah comes over and pulls her away, to get her to meet someone else. So I don't know what that little interaction was all about. So on to the next one. So she meets two guys, and one is black, and he tells her that she is the black Naomi Campbell. I don't know where that came from. So I'm thinking, okay, good self-esteem boost, but I was so glad that Diann pulled her away from them too quickly as well. And it was almost as if they was taking Nakita through like an assembly line to get her to the person that they actually wanted her to meet. So the next guy that she's introduced to, his name is Angelo. So Diann says that he meets all the boxes on Nakita's checklist. And Angelo says that he is a lawyer and that he just returned from Portugal just to meet Nakita. I was like, oh, how sweet. But he probably full of it too. So Nakita likes his sense of humor and says that brothers in the U.S. don't go out of their way to make a woman feel comfortable when they first meet. So the two exchange information, so they can stay in touch. And Nakita lets Diann know that, she had a really good time. So back at the house, Shay is cooking dinner. And we already know how much she looks up to Gina. So she's talking to Gina about Roberto, and Gina, as always, seems annoyed that Shay is talking to her. So Shay asks Gina about some artichokes and she had cooked the night before, and says that she wants to pick her brains. But Gina, being Gina, cut her off at the path, and says that she doesn't want Shay picking her brain. And I'm like, okay, now I'm about over Gina and her dismissive attitude. I think we all over Gina being nasty. So Gina finally breaks down and decides to share her story. Thank God. Just release that burden. Go and get that monkey off your back, girl. So she says that she never wanted to be on TV. I mean, as much as she talks about how she had this cooking show on Food Network, I found that very hard to believe. But she said no, in fact, it was her husband's dream to be on TV. And so she thought that it would be just one episode and then they would go back to their normal lives. But it turned out to be like the highest rated show on the Food Network. And so Shay points out that she thought Gina was the star and that the husband was the sidekick. But then Gina says it wasn't supposed to be that way, but I guess the audience fell in love with her more than they fell in love with her husband. And so that's how she became the star of the show. So she asked that the show became bigger than their marriage and her husband became nothing more than her business partner, and that it ultimately ended their marriage. And so she has this weird resentment now towards cooking and cookbooks and cooking shows because it reminds her of all that she lost. And so she said that she tried to leave her marriage like 4 times, and then on the 5th time, she just grabbed her pocketbook and left. Like, the hell with you. So afterwards, the women on social media, she said they were applauding her for walking away after 24 years. And I guess that made her feel better and gave her hope that, there's life after marriage. And she says that she doesn't like to talk about it, but Shay was so damn persistent that she figured she'd just go ahead and tell her. And now she doesn't know whether to applaud her or to slap her. She said she was like, they just made her come out of her shell and tell the story. So it was a real emotional moment for her. She went into the room and she was crying, and the other ladies came in to comfort her and everything. But I think once when you hold on to stuff, you have to ask yourself, like, why am I holding on to this? Why am I holding on to this? And you don't realize that it's hurting you more. And then after you tell it, you realize, maybe I should have told it a long time ago. Like, maybe she should have wrote a book about it, and help some other women that feel trapped or about to go on reality TV and ruin their marriages and everything. So if you didn't see my video, I did a video about it's reality TV breaking up these marriages, or were these marriages already broken when they went on reality TV. But I guess in Gina's case, reality TV or being on this cooking show ruined her marriage. So I guess it goes both ways. So Shay, on the other hand, she apologizes for being so pushy, but now has to deal with the image of her idol being shattered after learning the ugly truth, because, she aspired to be Gina and Gina's husband and have like this cooking empire and be married and have kids and everything, and she realizes that it may not work out that way. So in her video diary, Mercedes admits that her biggest fear is giving her all to a man, thinking that he is the one, only to learn that their marriage has been a lie the whole time. And she says that we need Jesus up in here. So Gina's story really gave them all something to think about. Like, you're in pursuit of this marriage, and even if you, or this man, and even if you find the perfect guy, you still may not have your happily ever after. So after revealing her truth, Gina says that she now feels like she can breathe. So she goes to lunch with Diann, and the two open up, about their perceptions of each other. And she then shares that she had been a private person, to protect her daughters, and she didn't want to talk about, what all had happened in her marriage. But since Shay broke her down and busted that shell off, that she's ready to talk. Then Diann says that, it explains a lot, and she's happy, that they had the conversation, and now she understands, what was going on. So Ashley went on a social media search for Leo and discovers that he has a whole different persona, because remember he was saying, he's an elected official and being in politics, he got to be low-key and conservative and can't be out there acting a fool. Well, on his Facebook, it told another story that he's a very party animal, a big party animal, and really fun and out there in the streets and everything. So Ashley say that, you know, he wants her to be Michelle Obama while he's in the streets wilding out. And so she don't know how she gonna deal with this situation. Then Nakita and Angelo, they go out to dinner, and I'm not understanding this junior bridesmaid's dress that she was wearing. So like she was on her way to a wedding, not out to dinner. So Angelo buys her a rose, like one red rose, and makes a big production of giving it to her. He break the stem off. He was having a hard time breaking the stem, but he got it off. Then he stuck it in her hair. Then he was like dancing all around her. And I mean, he was just like so over the top. And so at the end of the day, Nakita was able to relax and have a good time. You know, she's laughing and having fun. And then Angelo kisses her and the other people that was at the restaurant, because they actually had outdoor seating. And so they're like urging them to kiss again and kiss again and kiss again. So she, you know, she had a good time. I'm happy for her. Not sure about Angelo because he was a little too feminine for me, but he kind of reminded me of Bob Dylan from Gilligan's Island. But I don't think I could deal with Angelo. But it was what Nakita needed to get her out, you know, of her shell and her insecurities, and realize that she is a beautiful woman and that she can attract a man. So Diann has plans to take the other ladies to a day party. And Ashley and Mercedes are super excited. And Diann says that there will be doctors, lawyers, scholars, and just the best men that she could find for these ladies. So Shay, Ashley, and Mercedes order drinks. And Ashley is already in her feelings. And she is like so jealous of Shay that it is ridiculous. So back outside, Shay and Ashley stop to talk to a group of guys, and Cece pulls Mercedes to the side to try and get a feel for what she likes. So Mercedes, who told us that she wanted a black Italian last week, sees a white guy that she's interested in, and the guy looks like he was posing for a photo shoot, like he was obviously planted there, like he didn't look like somebody that just happened to be in the scene as she was walking by. So that was kind of iffy, bravo. But Cece says that he looked like a younger version of Clark Kent, which I must agree with. So the guy appears to be checking them out, and Cece goes over and introduces herself. He says that his name is Giglio, and then she asks him, you know, if he's single, and he said no. So Cece meets Shay and Ashley in a bar, and as she's telling her that the guy has a girlfriend, he comes over and says that he doesn't have a girlfriend. So I was so confused and thinking that he said that he was single because he wasn't interested in Cece. So, but he knew that Cece and Mercedes was together, so why he would then come over and try to talk to Mercedes after he said no to, I don't know. But anyway, I had posted about this on Twitter, and so then Cece commented on Twitter and said basically it was the editing that made the whole scene look crazy. And then I was so flattered when she came back and said that she watched my reviews and that she likes them. So Cece, I hope you're watching. So the ladies tell Clark Kent no thank you. So Mercedes says that she isn't interested in being the side chick. So in the confessional, Cece is like, you picked that loser, not us. Now leave it to the professionals and we'll find you the man that you need. So over with Shay, you know, she's dished Ashley and is talking to another guy, and he tells her that he's a sommelier. But she keeps saying that he's a sommelier. So she's like, once again, put emphasis on these words when you don't have to. So then Diann arrives, and a guy that the ladies was talking to said that Diann looked like Rihanna. I was like, child, these Italian men think all black people look like when they be coming up. Told Nakita she looked like Naomi Campbell, not telling Diann that she looked like Rihanna. I don't know. So Shay is going on and on, you know, to Diann about Emiliano, the guy that she met. And so she is drunk and can't pronounce his name or the profession correctly. You know, so Diann corrects her, you know, about mispronouncing the guy's name and tells her, you know, you need to be respectful and call the guy's name right. So I don't know why Diann won't help Shay and teach her how to pronounce words correctly, because she just be out here in these streets acting like Portia Williams. At the end of the night, Mercedes, Ashley, and Cece are in the van waiting on Shay to come out of the bar. So then Ashley and Mercedes get all hood and start calling out, to her like, oh, y'all not in the hood. Y'all over here in these people country yelling and screaming and carrying on. So Shay stumbles out of the club and gets in the van, and she's excited about Emiliano, which of course irks Ashley. So the two start bickering, and Shay tells Ashley that she's just jealous and wants to dim her light. And then Mercedes and Cece are smirking at the cat fight going on. And then finally Cece intervenes and tells them to knock it off. They'll be acting like this. So I think that Diann owes Cece a bonus for throwing her in the midst of this mess and making her the babysitter of the day of these women. And I think that was it. I think that pretty much wrapped up the episode. So guys, let me know what you thought about this episode. What do you think is going on with Shay and Ashley? Is Mercedes gonna find love? And are we happy that Gina finally revealed her truth? Leave your comments below, rate the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video on your social media platforms. You can do all of that below. And until the next time, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.